Welcome. This PowerPoint is going to give you further information on the DIBELS State Rostering Project for the school year of 2017-2018. As far as state-approved vendors, we have Amplify, also known as MClass, or DMG, also known as DIBELSnet. The applications were sent out to assessment and literacy directors on May 1st and are due on July 1. Several LEAs pay for grades 4 through 6 on their own, as that is a separate contract. As you know, our state funds K through 3. Without a state-approved vendor, your LEA would not have access to Pathways of Progress data. And of course, this data is used to determine whether your LEA passes or fails the Uniform Growth Goal, also known as UG. Your K-3 funds, of course, are also dependent on passing the Uniform Growth Goal. The old data exchange. So in the past, our LEAs have had to enter their K-3 student data into your SIS system for DIBELS. And then you'd also have to enter that same data into your vendor system. And then the test vendor would share the test results with an LEA, and an LEA then would enter the results into your SIS system, and then it sends us to us via UTREX. So some of the cons for you are lots of data entry and a lot of opportunity for misentering data. What we are hoping to do, again, beginning for the school year of 2017-2018, is the new data exchange, which means that LEAs would enter their data into their SIS system, and then it would send to UTREX, and USBE would generate a nightly extract from UTREX, and then we would send it to the test vendor, and then the test vendor would share test results with LEAs and USBE, and the USBE will download your results into UTREX for LEAs, so you won't have to do that anymore. So some of the pros, much less data entry for the LEAs, and higher quality data, as well as UG notification to LEAs sooner than the end of August, as we have in past years. So the USBE will roster all K-3 students and classes for DIBELS, including those requiring an alternate assessment, into the vendor database. We have spoken with the vendors, and they are aware that this means some students will appear untested. This process also allows for the student DIBELS data to follow them throughout the state. So if we have a student who is moving from one LEA, who is an Amplify vendor, uses the Amplify vendor, to another LEA who also uses Amplify, then that data will follow them. However, if a student moves from one LEA that's using Amplify and another LEA that's using DMG, in that case, we cannot have the data follow the student because it crosses vendors, just so you are aware of that. What this means for you, LEAs will continue to roster teachers and staff in the vendor systems and ensure that SIS system data is accurate and up to date daily. What this means for you. If a student is not rostered correctly into your SIS system, he or she will not show up in the vendor database and therefore cannot be tested. SSID numbers will be the primary student ID number sent. If your LEA has been using a number other than an SSID in the primary ID field, you may want to contact your vendor to see how this might affect your historical data. Rostering a student in the vendor system will not work, as the nightly UTREX upload from your SIS system will delete that student unless they are correctly entered into your SIS system. Many of these pieces are very similar to the other platforms that we have in our state, including SAGE. Our benchmark windows will be held firm at beginning of year before September 30th, middle of year December 1st through January 31st, and of course the end of year, which is the middle of April through June 15th. Our data entry for vendor and SIS system dates will also be held firm at beginning of year October 30th, middle of year the last day of February, and the end of year, which is June 30th. LEA UG percentages will be calculated at the USBE, and LEAs will be informed earlier than in the past. So the good news, starting in the school year 2017-2018, LEAs no longer need to report composite scores through UTREX unless your DIBELS data has not been entered into the vendor system. So if your DIBELS data is not entered into either Amplify or DMG, whichever one you've signed up for, then you would have to go ahead and still enter it in your SIS system. At the earliest, state rostering can begin by the week of July 24th to accommodate our 5-year-round schools. This is similar rostering the state provides for, like I said, all other state-mandated assessments. When we are rostering class names, just so you know, we will roster them with the teacher's first initial, their last name, and their grade. The bad news. Unfortunately, you will still need to submit your reading intervention indicator of a yes or no in your SIS system, as the vendor systems do not collect that data. Also, you'll still need to submit the ROGL special codes, which could be a U, an O, an E, an S, an AY, or an AN. The reason, again, is because the vendors do not collect this data. There is no need for you to enter the ROGL yes-no unless your LEA, again, does not have the DIBELS data into the state-approved vendor. If your DIBELS data is already current and complete in either Amplify or DMG, we will obviously know that, yes, you have tested that student, so you don't need to put in the yes-no. If you have any questions regarding this new project, please contact myself, Sarah Wibke, at sarah.wibke@schools.utah.gov, or Sydney Carter in the assessment department at sydney.carter@schools.utah.gov. Thank you and have a great day.